Alright, my friends, there is a new video here from Paragaming that people have recommended me. Top most insane builds to play in Diablo 4 Season 6.
These are the craziest builds I stumbled across playing the Season 6 PTR. And starting us off... These are the craziest builds I stumbled across playing the Season 6 PTR. And starting us off,
That guy's flying.
You may be confused as to why it's raining outside. But it's not. It's the first build on the list, a Barrage Victimize build. And holy damn, is this the most fun I've had.
There's a German guy in
here?
here? Okay.
There's just explosions everywhere, man. Victimize is exploding. Enemies are exploding. And even Arnie is exploding. And it's all due to the reworked...
The edits, man.
Enemies are exploding. And even Arnie is exploding. And it's all due to the reworked Victimize passive. From previously being a blizzard brain fart, it's now just way easier to utilize. All you need is a high lucky hit chance, and it will in turn deal 80% weapon damage using the same damage type. On top of that...
Dude, like, Victimize has been, like, changed so many times, I'm losing track. It's either useless or it's completely busted overpowered, man. Where's the middle ground?
Still scales via vulnerable. And holy shit, does there exist a lot of vulnerable in Season 6 that also looks to double dip.
Double dip.
This T100 run is without those mechanics, though, and with dogshit gear, so it's looking fine as hell either way. Other than that, though, we're utilizing the fact that Victimize now scales via other damage types to the fullest. And how do we do that? Well, shit. Glad you asked.
Damn, my man.
Considering Barrage in itself has a dogshit lucky hit chance and Poison Imbuement does not, that's one factor to consider. On top of that, we're also able to dip into both physical and non-physical damage multipliers for massive big damn. For example, the Eldritch Bounty node. Other than that, though, the build is extremely similar to that of the Andariel Barrage build from Season 5, just way stronger.
Hell yeah.
We rock the Umbra Cucks. We rock the Umbra Cucks to ricochet our barrage bullets, along with slapping on the branching volleys aspect to gain additional arrows. When all of this is combined, we simply get ourselves a perfect AoE clearing build, along with great single target for bossing. We're also able to utilize some cool techs this season, for example, combining the No Witness Legendary node and the Petrify rune word. This means freeing up a slot.
This combination is actually so powerful, man. Like, you just get another 45x multiplier when your runes cast Petrify, dude. Rogue goes so crazy.
This means freeing up a slot in the skills for us, for more damage and mobility. With some better gear, I would expect this build being able to speedrun tier 100 in about 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, it does.
Which is, by the way, the highest pit level in Season 6.
And it's not even the spin to win rogue yet, which is even crazier.
Just lovely. The next build is another way to play the Victimize key passive.
Spin.
And that's by utilizing the new spin to win Skill Dance of Knives. The main benefits of using this build are twofold. Firstly, it's fucking brain dead.
Yep.
So is the Barrage, but this one is truly brain dead.
Oh my god, stop, bro, I'm stuck. Can you help me?
And that's mainly due to Factor 2. It snapshots literally anything.
Any good build in the game, man, just snapshots all the stuff, dude. And funny enough, man, we had all the snapshots, the same snapshots on Whirlwind Barb, and they've all been giga nerfed.
And what does that mean? Well, shit. It means that everything you have up as you start spinning, you get to keep, basically. It's also possible to keep spamming the spin to win button for carpal tunnel and more lucky hits, not unlike the Barbarian Whirlwind build. All in all, the build looks both massively bugged and quite possibly the strongest rogue build in Season 6.
Yep.
For our final rogue build of the day, we have a lovely ultimate skill build, the Death Trapper. This build is solely scaling the ultimate skill Death Trap
Rain, that
to
sounds
bust
perfect
out
for
a
me.
buttload of damage.
Spin to win.
And in case you've been living under a rock, No worries. I'll explain the changes from previous seasons because this is the first time the build wasn't dogshit. So for starters, we are now able to put more points than one into ultimates. Combine this with Shaco and Masterworking Trap cooldown reduction everywhere.
Spam it!
We can get the cooldown of Death Trap down to a few seconds. To then reset the remaining cooldown, we're combining the preparation specialization and spending a ton of energy. This can be done in several ways, one being the Beastfall boots and instantly spending it. You then have infinite Death Traps, and how do we scale its damage? We first have a slick pair of pantaloonies called Eyes in the Dark. Using this, we gain an additional Death Trap and more damage. Secondly, you can now temper chance for Death Trap to deal double damage. And lastly, the Paragons are now set up in a way that gains additional damage for trap skills.
Man, Rogue just has all the insane builds. I'm looking at the tier list that I drafted, and like all the top builds are Rogues. Like every build on Rogue is kind of viable. Like look here, man. 1, 2, 3, 4 builds in S tier of the Rogue. And I think then there is another 5 builds in A tier. Completely crazy.
All in all, the damage got a 10x buff or something, now hitting for billions per hit. With some
Billions
gear.
and billions.
Unless this build gets gutted, then it's going to be fucking bonkers. Alright, and then we have another class, the Sorcerer. But before we continue, a word from an awesome sponsor, Pi.org, which has created an ad blocker for us. And I can confidently say that it's the best ad blocker I've ever used, and I'll tell you why. For starters, it's free and blocks every annoying ad imaginable.
Nice.
But that's not all, because maybe you want to keep supporting your favorite creator, and then you can opt into rewards for ads and get some sweet bank for it. For example, on my channel right here. Just as you deserve, my friend. They also have an extension for cashback that gives you automatic coupons and lets you save a buttload of money with zero effort.
Why are they always
even
ginger?
An ad block app for mobile Safari. To install, you press the link in the description and then press this massive button. Nicely done.
Good integration.
This alien button means install. To get the cashbacks, you just go through the preferences here to the left, and it will take you there. Or search for it.
Okay, hell yeah.
Thanks to Pi.org for sponsoring me, True GigaChads. A lot of people probably wonder what's going to happen to their favorite Season 5 Lightning Spear build. And let me tell you, it's looking busted as hell. Quite possibly the best build in the game.
This is from Lurkin.
I must say, though, that not a lot is changing from Season 5.
Dude.
We're still utilizing the splintering energy aspect and stacking a buttload
This build did 100 in 1 minute.
of crit damage. This is, of course, combined with the fractured Winterglass amulet to bust out lightning spears as we're spamming frozen ball sacks everywhere.
And you see, they did massive improvements to the buff bar. And guess what? It's still not enough, and it's still full of all buffs. Look at this. Constantly at max buffs.
What is changing, though,
And beyond.
is that the conjurations we can get out
You
caps
can't
at
even see your
30.
conjuration skills.
This means that the gap between a pure lightning
The
spear
frozen
ball sack build and a hybrid that also deals damage via frozen orb is closer, which in turn means that it's just way easier to gear for, and that feels pretty damn good, I must say. On top of that, though, we're also getting a new key passive called Enlightenment, which is looking pretty decent in Sorcerer standards, mainly due to them all being shit. But all in all, the lightning spear builds are eating well. For next build, we have the chain
I think the Druid's eating well.
lightning build.
Literally.
This is insanely S tier as it currently stands, and also the best build in the game. But it's working due to a
This is
Provervel
from
bug.
Roxy.
This bug being Azure Wrath and Frostburn not being stat squished and hitting for billions of damage. But even without this, the build is actually hitting for hundreds of millions per hit, placing it comfortably into the
Yeah, Shatter is really dog on Sork. Only hitting for 6 trillion.
A tier, even if the bugs are fixed.
So many bugs.
If we assume it's not being fixed, though, then
Everything's
it's probably
bugged.
the best build in the game, and I'll be rocking it for sure. What's working for both the bugged and non-bugged version are the axial conduit pantaloonies. This allows us to gain a humongous amounts of lucky hits and a buttload of damage from the explosions. And as a consequence, it also makes the build
This
pretty
is the
damn
hardest
fun.
boss in the game.
Next up,
Sayonara.
we have some emo neckbeard cringelord builds, and we're starting off with the Bloodwave build. We recently covered this build during Season 5, and holy
This
shit,
one's amazing.
is it looking insane in Season 6, being able to speed run Tier 100 in just a few minutes, and getting some big dick buffs. And how does it work? It's simple, yet beautiful. By combining the
Look
Blood
at how
Artisan Titty
many.
Protect...
Like, look at how many there are. They're just like blasting out here. Man, there's so many of them.
By combining the Blood Artisan Titty Protectors with Bloodwave, which now
Only for
spawns
female.
double the amount of blood orbs, by the way, we in turn fart out bonus spirits by picking up the orbs on the ground. But we don't want to run around collecting them, do we?
The edits, man.
That's annoying as hell. And that's why we're spamming Blood Lances, because Blood
The
Lance combined with
Paragaming
the Gore
edits.
Quill aspect picks them up automatically. Just lovely. And if you didn't know this by now, then I'll just tell you that Bonus Spirit is pretty damn busted. So when we're able to spam out a gazillion of them, the damage gets absolutely insane.
Oh, it does.
Particularly as we scale it via a buttload of Bonus Spirit ranks combined with a bunch of maximum life. And why max life? Well, that's due to bonus spirits from the Tiddy Protector scales via percentage max life. So the more max life percentage we can find, for example via the Coombringer, the more damage we'll deal. Beautiful, if
Coombringer.
you ask me. And when it comes to the
He just does it like normally, like in every floating sentence, man. The Coombringer.
gameplay, it's all about them blood waves, baby. Spam them as hard as you can and bust out Bloodlance to collect the orbs. All other skills are for the utility or damage increases. For next build, we have an actual damage over time build, and not just any damage over time build, a corpse explosion build. We haven't seen one of these for a while, but it's actually looking real solid heading into Season 6. Not the best, but still strong, and an insanely fun neckbeard build for once.
Like similar
And
to
it's due to a
Infinimist.
lot of reasons, but
This
to
is
name two of them.
Paragamy.
The new key Passive Affliction, giving an uncapped scaling of shadow damage, which we can bust out via the Cursed Aura aspect. And secondly, the new Ultimate Soul Rift, granting damage, barrier,
This, by the way, is like the best ultimate for every necro build. Like, it's just like better than all the other ultimates and then some.
vulnerable, and essence all at once. A massive quality of life update
Necro or
for the
bust.
neckbeards. For final Cringelord build, we have the one that is still looking to be king, the pure bonus spirit build. This build has been the strongest necro build for 2 seasons now, and it's still looking to reign supreme in
It
season.
just hits for like 5. You try this on a Hoda Barb, you know? Like, you go on a Hoda Barb, and you are lucky if you have 10% of this damage. Not even. Like, you have like 5% of this damage. But they had to nerf it divided by 20, man.
Season 6. Oh, and it's getting buffed again.
7.
What is that?
It gets buffed every season, man. I don't understand. Look at 10 trillion. 10 billion. Like, why not?
The 10th patch in a row? I
Yeah.
don't know. Either way, it's hitting for upwards of 20
This is
billion per hit, and it's getting its damage basically doubled simply due
This
to
has been the best necro build since almost half a year, and every patch it gets
the
buffed.
fact that we can now temper
But minions can't have anything nice.
bonus spirit deals double damage onto our weapons. If this is not the strongest neckbeard build going into Season 6, then it's the Bloodwave bonus spirit build. So either way, a lot of boners going into Season 6, that's for sure. What differs between this one and the Bloodwave version is how the damage is scaled. This version works
A lot of boners heading into Season 6.
entirely through overpowers, which we generate via the Banished Lord's Talisman. Once we have an
I
overpower,
wonder what he's gonna say about the Barb.
there are just a gazillion ways of boosting it further. For example, the Blood Moon Pantaloonies and the Paragons. With everything combined, we upwards of 20 different multipliers that are just mushed together and generates billions upon billions of damage. So if you're into boners, then this one should suit you nicely. And next up we have Fatty McFatty, aka the Woodchopper Guy and the Dry Humping build. This build basically works by fucking your enemies to death, which is indeed morbid, but it is what it is.
That's what I said in my video as well. Look at the dance moves.
On another note, it also works by utilizing the Fresh Render Mace. This is where the damage comes from. You then just simply spread some rabies and apply poison, followed by spamming a defensive skill to unleash the damage.
He's going from
in this
behind,
case,
man.
Debilitating Roar. This is due to us being able to reset it via Bold Chieftain's aspect and a buttload of cooldown reduction. And that, my friend...
It's just animals, guys. It's a mating ritual, okay? It's just one animal.
Is how you can start dry humping enemies permanently. What's insane about this build, though, is how hard you can scale it. For every 100 willpower, we're gaining an additional 50% big damn. And funnily enough, in Season 6, you'll have insane amounts of willpower. And I do truly mean insane. Upwards of 8,000 willpower in a perfect gear. So that's balanced. And for the rest of the Druid builds, there's not much to say currently. The Landslider build is still goated as fuck, and could still be the best build out there, but there seem to have been quite a few bugged interactions when it came to the Stormslide version, and
there was like plenty bugs, because like all the passives didn't work, like the Paragon keynotes didn't work, and also they didn't have the new Challenger Headhunter glyph, like the one that's multiplying main stat. So the Druid was missing a lot of power, so all this footage here, it blasting 100, it's just gonna get stronger and stronger.
Currently, the strongest of the Landsliders is the Big Daddy Bear Slider version. And that one is indeed strong, but weaker than we would have wanted from the Stormslide build that we used in Season 5.
Yeah, it was bugged on the
For the other builds, I'd expect the Fatty to have a lot of A-tier and B-tier builds heading into Season 6 that we can play. May as well just delete the class anyways, as there will be a better Druid called Spiritborn soon. And for our final class, we have the shit-eating Barbarian.
Shit-eating?
After 3 seasons of being a god, the class is now literal trash. Don't play it. Thank you.
So that's it?
Wait, what, you're still here? Fine, guess we'll cover a few builds. Firstly, we have an extremely clever way of playing Hotar in Season 6 from Ulf, and it's actually looking strong. I went through the entire build...
Just don't play Barb, guys. It hurts me to say, man, but yes. It's fucking true, dude. The Barb is dog. And then here, do you want to play Fatty McFatty? Or you want to play this other guy? The cooler Danielle. Oh my god, man. What have they done?
And with some slight optimizations, I would expect this build to go from hitting upwards of 4 to 5 billion all the way to 10 billion no problemo, and that's really fucking good, actually.
It's not even 100, it's just a 95.
What has changed, making this build go from dog to pretty damn good? For starters, we now have the temper to make Hotar deal double its damage. So that's just a flat double damage right there.
You see, 1.1 billion. And this is like once every like 3 seconds. Meanwhile, you guys will not remember, the Boner Spirit, 10 billion plus every second. Okay. And also way bigger AoE.
On top of that, the build did indeed get buffed in Season 5.
Look, it's not even once every 3 seconds. Like you need to like bash 4 times and then overpower.
Wasn't enough to make it good. Still, the buffs are now usable. We also got some new Uber uniques and a lot of boring shit. But what is truly great about this build is the cool tech used to make all Hotars overpower. And that's by utilizing Bash along with Combat Bash.
But yeah.
But Mr. Para Gaming hitting enemies 4 times with Bash makes me sleepy.
On the boss, you still have to.
You shut the fuck up, my man or woman, slap on the Bash cleave temper, and you can just cleave the Bash damage onto your enemies and overpower with Hotar every second or third attack. Because if you have 100% crit chance, which is doable without any issues.
Still
using
doesn't help you on the
uniques.
boss. That's the problem.
Then you can just bash a group of enemies in the face, and you'll have yourself an overpowered Hoter.
So you can use the bash temper where it cleaves, and then if you hit 4 enemies, it basically counts as 4 hits. And then you can guarantee overpower. But the problem is, on a boss on a single target, this doesn't work.
And that, my friends, is easy billions of DPS. But don't tell Blizz, so we can get some Hoter buffs El Mao. And for final build, we have a German guy build. This one's also looking decently strong, and it's the Titty Twister
Who is this
Earthquake
guy?
Barb. Now, the main reason this build went from mid to slightly above mid is due to the new legendary node force of nature. By spawning earthquakes, which we
Wait,
can...
what did he say? We have a German guy?
Blizz, so we can get some Hoter buffs El Mao. And for final build, we have a German guy build. This one's also looking decently strong.
What about
And
Thorns?
it's the Titty Twister Earthquake Barb. Now, the main reason this build went from mid to slightly above mid is due to the new legendary node force of nature. By spawning earthquakes, which we can do either via ground stomp or leaping with the aspect of Bull Kathos, we're in turn spawning dust devils out of our bum hole. But that's not all, because we're also getting a run word allowing us to spam out additional earthquakes just by standing still for a second. Pretty cool, pretty strong. All in all, Barb is looking to be the shittiest class for yet another season, but at least it has a few decent options.
It hurts,
All
but
right,
it's the
friends,
truth.
That's all for this one. Sub, download the Pi ad blocker, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, Mr. Para Gaming, that's the video, my friends. Yeah, that guy's great, dude. Check it out. Leave a like, leave a sub, dude. I mean, he's so right about this stuff. I think the beginning was the best, dude. Like,
Confused as to why it's raining out suns everywhere, man.
this
And
one.
even Arnie is exploding.
Dude, the edits are so good on this, man. Yeah, we like Para Gaming. Well, but I definitely agree with most of his list. Like, it's very similar to like my tier list draft here. I'm gonna finish it soon, but yeah, it's not looking good for the Barb. I also have, this is my ranking here. I also kind of have Barbarian, sadly, on the last place. Now, it's not the final patch yet. We're probably gonna get some readjustments from the PTR. There were so many bugged builds and everything. But yeah, Barb's coming in on the last place, I think, too, unfortunately. And we'll see if that's gonna change, because Barb was already on the last place this season. We'll see, my friends. Whirlwind is giga nerfed. They nerfed Deathblow by changing the Starlight divided by 10. And there's nothing really good left right now. We'll see. But yeah, the video is fun. Let's go. GG, my friends. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.